Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. I'll be back. I'm straight back. Hashtag Health, Wealth, Life, day 59. I always do that every time. I write it and I instantly forget. I don't know why. Day 58 or 59, either way. We're nearly 60 days in. In fact, we're nearly into the third month of the year. Woo! It's been a lot going on. So here's an interesting thought for you. Why does it seem like our lives appear to go quicker as we get older? Why does it seem like our lives appear to go quicker, or time seems to go quicker as we get older? A friend and a client of mine gave me an amazing thought on this, and he said, think about it as a portion or percentage of your life. So if you're 1 year old, a day is quite a big percentage of your life. If you're 10 years old, a day is now a smaller percentage of your life. So it seems like less of an amount. Now, by the time you're 30, then a day is a fraction of your life, and it seems quicker because it is less of your life in percentage wise. So as you get older, it feels like time actually goes quicker because each moment of time is actually becoming smaller in terms of the entirety of your life. The whole of your life is the percentage of your life. Interesting, huh? And I think it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Anyway, that's something else. Mayrose, welcome aboard. How are you? Hope you had a good day. Listen back, skim back to the beginning of the video, because it was an interesting point where I said, why does it seem that our lives go quicker as we get older? Ben, hello mate, how are you? We need to catch up. Why does it seem like our lives go quicker as we get older? And I explained that. I had a conversation with a friend who talks about, as we get older, a day is a smaller percentage of our life than it was when we were 1 year old or 2 years old or 5 years old. So each moment becomes less of a smaller fraction, a percentage of our life. So it seems like it goes quicker and quicker. It's an interesting thought. Anyway, the main thing about today, hi Rose, hope you had a good day also. So invite a friend. If you can see the invite button, press invite some friends who you think could get benefits out of this. I'm going to give you a tip today, a top tip, one tip to get a six-pack, and it could help with your abdominals, washboarding your abs. Yes, we need to meet up, Ben. For sure, mate. Let's organise that. Let's message after. So one tip for that's often missed. It's really still missed. It's not wide evidence. I see a lot of people still missing this out, and it's a really simple thing that you can do, and it will help with getting a six-pack, help with ripping the rectus abdominis, that part of the abdominals, yeah? So also, I'm going to learn and practice how to write backwards. So when you're doing a crunch, so there's a few exercises that work the abdominals really well. And one of them is a crunch. This is the most common one. Everyone knows that if you want to get abs, you do crunches, right? And you do 1,000 and blah, blah, blah. Now, rep ranges and how much intensity is another conversation. I don't think you need to be doing 1,000 or anywhere near that. So that's another conversation. But range of motion is a big thing that I want to talk about. Emma, I can see you, or you can see me. And range of motion is a big thing I want to talk about. So what you get when most people do crunches, doing from the floor or off a bench, right? So let's see if I can write backwards. Let's bring you a bit closer. All right then. So if this is the floor, all right, that's not bad, that's writing backwards. Right, so if that's the floor or the bench, right, you're doing the crunch here. That's you. Right? Now, most people will go to the flat and then they'll crunch up. And the rectus abdominis, the abdominal muscles, work to, can you see that? 30 degrees. Yeah? So 30 degrees. So that's fine. So if you're doing that, that's fine. It's like doing a bicep curl like that. Yeah? So you're working the muscle, but you're not getting the most range out of it. So what we want to do is, let's have a look at it like this. So if this is 45 degrees, that's the bench, flat bench. This is 45 degrees, right? Now, that's halfway, so you're coming up to about here. That's 30 degrees. That's where you're crunching to, right? So you're getting less than half the range of motion on that muscle. Like doing a bicep curl like that. yeah, you can see. So the rectus abdominis, the 4-pack, the 6-pack, or sometimes genetically people can have an 8-pack, and that's just genetics, by the way, but it works 40 degrees into extension. So you're missing that much range of motion. You're missing that much range. So, for instance, if you're here, you want to be able to extend and flex. That's much more effective for working your abdominal muscles. Much more effective. So, what I want to share on that. So, how do we do that? That's a good point. So, how do we do that? We can't do that from the floor. There's 4 ways, right? Let me see if I can work this out back to front. So there's 4 ways that you can more effectively work your abdominals in a crunch. 3 of them are most predominantly done in the gym. You might have the first 2 equipment in your house. The 3rd one, very unlikely, unless you have a certain type of house. And the 4th one I'll show you that you can do anywhere, because we can use something just to create that range. So number 1 is using a Swiss ball. So for instance, we use the Swiss ball like that. Can you still see that? Let me know if you can see that. Eddie, how are you, mate? Apollo and Virginie, welcome aboard. We're talking about crunches. Now, there are more effective ways that actually have been shown in studies to activate your rectus abdominis, so the 4 and the 6-pack or the 8-pack on your body, but this is the most common way, so that's why I'm talking to you about it. So I'm going to give you a more effective way to do that exercise. Okay, let's solve that problem, get those abs out for summer, right? So if you use it, can you see that? Can you see that one? Because on my screen, the writing is covering it up. Just type yes if you can see that. Let me know, someone. Right, so the first way is a Swiss ball. You're here, you're on top, and you do the crunch. Yeah, you can see it. Thank you, Ben. Great. So you can do the crunch. So now, this is the flat, this is 30, this is 40. Yeah, you get you're doubling the range of motion. And that's what you want to do on your abdominals. That's number 1. So you can do it on the Swiss ball. Number 2 is you can do it on a BOSU. Hey, you've got to give me a thumbs up if I'm writing backwards. This isn't as easy as it looks. Or maybe I'm not making it look easy. It's challenging. Anyway, my brain's working well. Anyway, so the BOSU is similar to the Swiss ball, yeah? So it looks like that. It's a dome-shaped object. Not really, you can't see it, Mayrose? Is that what you're saying? And you do the crunch that way. So then again, you've got that extension. You can go 40 degrees and you can go 30 degrees. Make sense? Thank you, Mayrose. Now, number 3 is, where are we? Oh yeah, cables. Cables. Now, you do this one from kneeling, and the cable would come down from here, and you'd perform the range of motion that way. And again, you can see you can get into the 30 degrees of flexion, but you can also extend into the 40 degrees of extension. Really important if you want to get a 6-pack or even an 8-pack, as we mentioned. Now, number 4 is quite interesting. Where should we type that? Let's put it up here. Number 4 is you can use, this is the home job, a towel or towels. So what we do, stack 3 or 4 towels. Let's make that bigger. Stack 3 or 4 towels like that. You sit your bum on the floor and you lean back over the towels. And then again, we've created that extension. Can you see that? So towels, number 1 was Swiss ball, BOSU, cable. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unnatural range of motion. It's not unnatural because you're not in a full crab. You're just doing the full extension of the rectus abdominis. It should actually be healthier on your back because you're working that full range. You don't want to throw yourself into this and do yourself an injury. If you do have a back issue, if someone's got a slipped disc or a ruptured disc at some point in their life, then I wouldn't give them this exercise. So that's a word of caution. But if your back is fine and you want to work your abdominals really well, then this is something you must do. You want to work that full range of motion. Like I said, you wouldn't do half a bicep curl and expect to get quality looking biceps. It's the same with your abs, and I see so many people making this mistake. So add in that full range of motion. Add it in, yeah? So, and the 4 ways you do it is you use a Swiss ball, number 1, and you see you can get that extension over the ball. One other tip is when you're doing this, I suggest you don't need to do 1,000 reps. So what you do is you add weight. So I always add kilograms to my crunches. And you can do that on any 4 of these. So if you've got weights, obviously loads in the gym, if you do that and you're on your own, then pop a weight under each or over the top of each foot. So slide your foot under the dumbbell. It'll keep you on the ball so you don't fly over the top and do yourself an injury. So anchor yourself in. Sammy, good to see you, mate. You might like this tip. You might know it already, but if you don't, give me a thumbs up, give me a share. If you think this could help you, and give me a share, or anyone you know that could benefit from this who's looking to get better looking abs, please share this, give me a thumbs up, and let me know I'm in the right space and giving you good information, yeah? So how to get your 4, 6 or 8 pack depending on your genetics. So we've talked about if you're doing crunches from the floor or the bench, you're just on the flat. You're only doing 30 degrees range of motion. It's like doing half a bicep curl or half a bench press, half a pull down. You're missing half the range of motion. We need to get into, because the rectus abdominis, those abdominal muscles that create the 4, 6 or 8 pack, work 40 degrees into extension as well. So we actually want to work that 40 degrees of extension because it's more than half the range of motion. So how do we do that? We move into one of 4 options. Swiss ball, you get on the Swiss ball, anchor your feet under some weights, and you can use a weight across your chest. Just hold it just under the collarbone. Make sure you hold on to it tight. Don't do yourself an injury. I'm not liable. It's completely up to you if you take this on board. I'm not held liable, but this is the gist of the information. You can get the 40 degrees extension and the 30 degrees flexion. Try and keep the ball as still as you can when you do that. The other way is using a BOSU. It's a little bit more stable, and you can again weight that to change the rep range to get different challenge and stimulus on the muscles that you're working. But you can again get the 40 degrees extension and the 30 degrees flexion. And the other way is using a cable. You're kneeling and you can use a cable stack, and you can again use as much weight that's right for you to get the rep range that you want. 8 to 12 is the hypertrophy rep range. You must work within that range if you want to build the most muscle. Simple as that. We'll talk about rep ranges and time under tension and rest periods another time, but you can weight that to do less reps. You don't need to be doing 100 and more and all that stuff, right? Don't need to be there all day. And the last way, which is a home option, which is using a towel, and you can put 3 or 4 towels under your back, support your back, but you're creating that arch so you can actually extend and then work the abdominals lifting out of that arch and up into the flexion. I would suggest that a tempo where you're resisting the movement down slower than you are coming up. So for instance, 4 seconds from the top of the movement, the 30 degree flexion point, all the way down to the 40 degree extension point. So you're slowly resisting it down, 4 seconds all the way down. Find that stretch for a second, or even not even a second, but find it, and then crunch up a little bit faster. Either do it explosive or take 1 second to do it. So up and crunch, and I would hold at the top. Now the last point is, when you're doing a crunch, you're going into this position with your head here and your bum here. Now what I would say, when you've got the support in here at the moment, right? And we're looking at that extension. It's very healthy for your spine, actually. It's a good question, Ben. It's very healthy to have this range of motion for your spine. Otherwise, when people start yoga, they can't get into back bends because their back's so tight. Well, this is one way to keep everything mobile and strong at the same time. So when we finish, what we want to be in is this position. So your bum's here, your head's here. So it's the opposite, right? So what I'm saying is, don't just crunch up with the upper body. You actually want to come up with your hips and the upper body. Yeah? And as you lower your head and shoulders, you actually lower your hips. All right? Does that make sense? Give me a yes if it makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. Give me a share if it resonates with you. So, any questions? Any questions? Does that make sense? Give me a yes if it makes sense. Thanks, Sammy. Got it? So I'm assuming it makes sense. No one's asking any questions. It's all good. We're all good in the hood. Okay. Thank you, Rose. So if you'd like exercises, if you'd like me to show you these exercises, and I'll be happy to film a video for each one and talk you through it, then type yes. Type yes in the comment box. If I get 10 yeses, thank you, Rose. If I get 10 yeses, then I'll create a little video series showing you these exercises and showing you the one you can do at home. And I'll be happy to do that. If I get 10 people who say yes, then I'll make those videos and I'll share them with you and make sure you're tagged. If you said yes, I'll tag you in them so you definitely get notified when I put them out. Okay, I'm happy to do that. Just if I get 10 people doing it. So share. Only one person each. Rose, you can't have two. Of course you can. Okay, thank you guys. Adam Slater. Hello, mate. I don't believe we've met. But okay, you'll be tagged in when I create those videos. Absolutely, mate. Yes, again. May Rose, you can have two as well. All right, so I'll make those videos when we get 10 shares in it. How do we get those shares? You have to share this video. Share it with someone you think could benefit or would like the information. Give me a thumbs up, give me a share. Sharing is caring. Lets me know I'm in the right space, giving the right kind of information. I'm here to inspire people to be a better version of themselves. I've had an amazing conversation with one of my mentors today. He's an amazing guy, and just getting clarity on what we're here to do. We're here to be a better version of ourselves each day, and I'm talking about stacking activities in those 4 columns that I have. So the lifestyle, the exercise, the nutrition, and the supplementation. And we spent a little bit of time today on an exercise and giving you a tip on how to get your 4, 6, or 8 pack. That's genetic. So I'll make those videos when we have 10 yeses in here. And how do we get those yeses? Share them and ask a friend. Invite a friend to watch this video and ask them what they think about it. Give me your thoughts on this video, mate, and share it. Okay, thank you for sharing, Rose. Just shared that as well, the video. Appreciate that. Don't forget to press the share button because we want to get this message out. Helps people get a 6-pack quicker. It's healthier for the spine. It's going to make them stronger and more able. So let's help get this message out. Bring a friend to the party. I promise we'll have a good conversation. And that's it for today. It's all about an exercise tip or trick, if you like, today, or something that's often missed. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. So I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Hope you have an amazing evening. And take great care of yourself, as always, and everyone around you. And remember, happy is a skill that you can learn. And this is a better way to bring out your personal best. Let's go get some health wealth. Let's take the world with us. I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Have a great evening.